that time. About to head down to Portland Gear and say hello to good old friend Marcus Harvey here. What is it like to be a young entrepreneur? Well, pretty fun, I'd say, and challenging at the same time. Because personally, you're jumping into this environment or this business world right away, and you know that you have a business, but you kind of just need to get down to the dirt with it, you know. We have like 2 blocks before we reach Marcus Harvey and his natural habitat of Portland Gear. We're about to enter the Portland Gear clubhouse. They just finished renovating, adding the MLB to PDX.
How are you guys? To me, it feels fulfilling just getting to do stuff that I love every day and make stuff and see it around the community and do events and get to do stuff with amazing people and cool product and stuff. So to me, I'm so caught up in the hustle that I don't really know what it feels like, but I do enjoy a lot of the opportunities that it's been able to provide me. But I think that just comes from me working hard and not being scared to just work a lot, and all the good stuff and bad stuff and everything. It's just, I view it as growing experiences.
My name is Shonan Alverado. I go to Franklin High School. I own the brand Baby Wax. It's a streetwear brand in Portland, Oregon, and I am 17 years old. Being a young entrepreneur is hard. It's a lot of hard work. The work kind of never really stops because it's the first thing I do right when I get home. I'm constantly thinking about making new product and selling it.
It's pressuring and a lot of work, but good things come out of it, and it's very fun. I like it.
My name is Marcus Harvey. I grew up just in Hillsboro and then went to the University of Oregon. Been an Oregonian, born like 6 minutes from the Portland Gear store. Lived here my whole life. Went to college at U of O, graduated in 2012, moved back to Portland, and just had kind of always been entrepreneurial and got into like screen printing and t-shirts and apparel and branding and stuff. And when I came back to Portland, just started exploring that voice and making shirts for other brands. And then that kind of led me doing that for a couple years into Portland Gear, where I got really lucky with an Instagram, which is just at Portland. The Portland Gear stuff was born. We don't really have a logo for the city, so I just came up with something and printed a couple shirts, and it happened.
I was raised around adults my whole life, kind of why it kind of shows off the maturity a little bit for me. My childhood was very, very fun. My grandparents, they raised me. They took me in after my mom abandoned me. I kind of just looked up to them because they were musicians, and my grandpa was an entrepreneur as well with his own construction business that he does. To be a part of Portland Gear in any way possible, when it comes to a brand ambassador or when I'm helping out at a store or helping out at events, it means a lot. Like, I love being around that environment. I've always looked up to Marcus, and every time I walk into that store, I'm just like, wow, I remember when it first opened.
I started in 2014, my business in 2014. It started from me sewing clothes, like hand sewing, and then I started wearing it to school, and people wanted to buy clothes from me, and that's how it came. I was like, oh, this is a good way to make money, so I'm gonna start selling clothes. The clothes were too big on me or too short, so I want that to not be a problem for everyone. And so Identity Apparel creates custom clothing. I find inspiration from everyday objects. I have some clothes with reflectors on them because I found inspiration from bikes. So anything I find, I just start creating from there. School helped because I took some classes at Franklin High School, intro to business, accounting, and business management.
Yeah, so when I went to U of O, I went with the business degree in mind, but I ended up switching to digital arts after I started screen printing shirts in the dorms and for friends. And I'm really not an artist at all, so I don't know how to draw or sketch or anything. But when I switched to digital arts, I started taking intro to Illustrator classes and graphic design, really basic stuff. And so my style has always been really classic, easy, font stuff. So college kind of helped me to hone in that voice. It really grew my sense of community. I was in a fraternity, so I had lots of friends and people and classmates, and I became really reliant on like creating community and having people around me all the time. And then academic-wise, just how to be responsible and take care of yourself. So college was really instrumental in my growth. I have a direction in which I'm going, but I don't like keep myself to that. So Portland Gear stuff was just like a mix of a lot of those things kind of at the right time. And like the literal idea of like when I came up with Portland Gear until I made it was just a couple weeks. But the development, of years learning screen printing to even get to a point where I could choose to start Portland Gear was years. I'm 28 now, so I started it when I was 24, and I started screen printing when I was 18. So 6 years of just printing for other people and learning about business and learning about margin and screen printing and inks before I even started Portland Gear. So the saying is something like an overnight success, 10 years in the making. Like all of a sudden people see Portland Gear and it blew up, but I had been doing this for a long time.
Well, Boss Socks PDX is an anti-odor sock business that I am aiming to start up, hopefully in 2019. And I was aiming this year, but I've learned that starting a business right away at 18 is, pretty difficult to jump into. So it takes time, things take time and hard work. The first thing I came to, or the first step I did to creating Boss Socks PDX was coming up with a message, coming up with an idea, a vision, and a goal, and just kind of like jam it all together. First, I had to come up with a problem. Then you come up with a solution to the problem. There's your business idea. I struggle with stinky feet after playing basketball for hours or running or doing some active activities, and take off the shoe and the smell's not pleasant. So I thought, what if there's a way to just have a nice, cool looking sock that has anti-odor silver particles in the sock woven into that blocks the odor from having others smell it and having you smell it and feeling insecure. So Boss Socks PDX stops that problem with anti-odor technology woven into a sock, comes in a crew sock to start out with, to help you feel more confident and not worry about the smell.
I was skateboarding and I had these waxes that I'd buy from they're from skateboard companies, and it would range from like $5 to like $15 to get good wax. I was like, well, why don't I just make my own wax? And I came up with the name Baby Wax because I'd make these little waxes like this big, and that's kind of where the name came from, because they were so tiny they looked like a little baby. The idea was that if I had a whole bunch of little waxes, then it wouldn't matter if I lost it or it got melted. If I mix these two together and wait a while, it'll turn into something like this, silicone. And so I make the silicone thing, and inside here, my baby's head mold. And then after that, I go and buy some wax, and sometimes I'll melt it together like this just to make it easier. I got less into skateboarding and more into clothes and selling t-shirts, and gave them to my friends and family. And I think a lot of people like the clothing more than the wax, so I kind of stuck to it. And I liked that a lot more because it gave me more to create. So right now I'm going to be printing. We have the original Baby Wax tee, and I'm just going to fill the screen first. So I just go like that, and then after that I go again, and then I go a little bit harder. Yeah, I'll just go like this a few times and then pick up the rest of the ink, and I'll lift it up, and it's kind of nice because you can see it come off. And then it comes out.
I think that we care a lot about our people, not just our customers, but our employees and the community and people around town and the students that we give back to and stuff. So to me, I think community is what makes us different. I think we have a cool logo. I think people like it. I think we make cool stuff. But I think in the end, it's the way that we treat people and that people want to be part of what we're doing. I think that's the main differentiator between us.
My brand is just more for people, and it's not for I'm not just selling it. I want it so that people can actually fit in the clothes, because I believe clothes should be able to empower people and make a statement.
To me, what makes a brand stand out is the authenticity of it. I think if you're authentic and true to your clothing and not really following the sheep, I think that it'll take you a long way. I'm doing this because I genuinely love making clothes.
Well, an obstacle One of them is being my anxiety and procrastination a little bit, because I know there's some parts of me where I jump right into it and get it done, and I feel accomplished and I appreciate every second. Then there's a part of me where there's a big challenge in front of me, and I always would like assistance with it. I go to people for help, but if I'm unable to get a response from that help, I may push it aside a little bit. So that's kind of a challenge I've been working on to overcome, and just keep going as far as I can personally before I need to show that reliability.
If I have an idea or I have something I want to chase, like, I'm going to do it. And I don't want anything to get in the way of that. And if it means enough to me, like, I will do whatever it takes to get there. And when I had a real job and stuff, I didn't like the confinement of my ideas, or I didn't like the confinement of my growth or of my pay. And to me, it was like, I wanted everything to be unlimited, the opportunity. I wanted the ability to network to be unlimited, and I wanted my ability to create to be unlimited, and I wanted my freedom to work and earn whatever I deserve to be unlimited and not told by someone else what that was worth. And I have employees now, and I have to be that person to them, and I try to structure it in ways that incentivize them in ways that incentivize me, because not everyone can be an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs need teamwork and team players to help be part of that. And so a small business wouldn't work if 7 of us were entrepreneurs. So there needs to be me and a leader, and I need to harness their ideas of entrepreneurship within the business. I wanted the freedom to create whatever I could think of, and I think that's been the biggest thing that Portland Gear has allowed me to do. Is if I've got an idea for a summer camp, I can do it. And if I've got an idea to put a turf wall with baseballs here and host a pop-up shop with the Portland Diamond Project, I can do it. And if I've got ideas to add an employee or take one, I can do it. And it's like, I can just do whatever feels instinctually right to whatever position I'm in. And I couldn't ever go back now. Like, there's not a job in the world or pay that could take me away from, I think, that freedom.
Going forward, I really hope to just create more, and I really want to learn more marketing strategies and selling strategies.
So I could have never planned to be involved with Major League Baseball at Portland, and now it's like, that's a huge direction that I really enjoy going. So we just want to keep making cool stuff and keep creating community. Listen to those voices in your head about the things that you love, not the things that your parents tell you to love or that society tells you is important or popular. It has to be the things that you're willing to work hard for and sacrifice friendships for and family stuff for and XYZ, because you just have to want it enough. I listened to those voices in my head, and I just figured out what it was that I liked doing and just kept doing them over and over and over again. There's literally unlimited amounts of things that are entrepreneurship, or that you could do with your life, or that you could create that add value to others. So I need everyone to go out there and do their own things, to make their boss socks and to brew beer and to make pencils.
I say, come up with that dang idea and go for it. Pursue it. Put yourself out there in situations where you can network, meet people, say, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? Any advice? I'd say just go out and go for it.